This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
Welcome to Boss Cowboy Sports, and today's video is brought to you by BetUS, where you can receive 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. I have the link in the description. Y'all make sure y'all take advantage of that. So today, this is what we've been doing for some time here. When we start the season, we always look at ways to improve internally with a show that we always been doing here called Competition Tuesdays. So today's competition, and we dealing with Trey Lance versus Cooper Rush. Right now, it's a lot of people got their minds made up on this. I disagree with most people on this, but I'm gonna still stand on my research and what I believe. And I'm going to make the case, and then just leave it up to y'all. Y'all do what you want to do, but I'm going to make the case on why, in most cases, not actually in all, in most cases, Trey Lance should be QB2. In some cases, Cooper Rush should be QB2. I'm going to talk about that. So I'm not somebody that's sitting at an absolute in all things, in all scenarios, Cooper Rush should be QB2 or Trey Lance. It's in most scenarios, I believe. So I'm gonna likely talk about that at the end. But this is obviously stemming from Ari coming out saying head coach Mike McCarthy said Cooper Rush will be Dak Prescott's backup while Trey Lance will remain QB3 to start the season. Okay. Now, we was out there at the Frisco training camp, and I noticed that Law and I was watching the practice, and we was seeing that Cooper Rush was getting pretty much the whole time we was there the reps with the number 2s, and we was seeing Trey Lance with the scout team. He was basically running with the 3s. So I already gave my opinions on it, but I'm gonna talk about what this is really about, and I'm gonna go ahead and get to the point. And this is where I think a lot of people are missing me on wanting Trey Lance to be QB2. The main reason why Trey Lance should be QB2 is because there's a potential trade value for even a failed former first round quarterback. And a lot of people not taking that into account when we looking at Cooper Rush versus Trey Lance. Okay, they not thinking about that at all. Only thing they thinking is Cooper Rush has earned it. He's a winner. He was 5-1, and Trey Lance is not ready yet. Okay, so I hear your case, but hear me out too. So if you saying, hear me out. If you saying Trey Lance is not ready to be QB1, I will agree with you. I would clap for what you said. I would clap it up for what you said. But if you saying Trey Lance is not ready to be as good as Cooper Rush, I would say,
oh, hell no.
I absolutely, totally disagree 100%. Yeah. And we and everybody that's of that opinion is potentially wasting the opportunity for the Dallas Cowboys. Because if you look at the guys that was drafted with him in the 2021 draft class, we can pretty much, shout out to my boy D.A. Lee, we can pretty much end a 33rd team for this illustration. But you can clearly see that even failed quarterbacks, because they was former first, had some type of value. Now, the goofy team that paid the most for the backup quarterback was Dallas. Yeah. So we decided to pay a 4th round pick. Jerry decided to stay on the phone with San Fran. He decided he not talking to Mike McCarthy. He not talking to anybody else. He's so smart. He the smartest guy, that, hey, I'm finna go get Trey, and I'm gonna give away a 4th. But now that it all played out, ain't it funny? It's clearly that the market for failed former first round quarterbacks was a 6 round quarterback. So let me ask you a question for everybody, since we just talking about Competition Tuesdays. Would you rather have some money or no money? Because that's what we're really dealing with. The potential to get something versus the potential to get absolutely nothing. What do you mean, boss? What do you mean? Well, there's a precedent that even in his class, failed quarterbacks could have a value to certain teams, especially before the trade deadline. If you catch the right team with an injury, or if you catch a team in need, right, who will say, you know what, I saw enough to where we can try to make a run with what we just saw out of that guy. Because anybody talking about Trey, especially looking at the traits of Trey, will say that you definitely see the traits. Athletic traits, arm traits. Now he's a little bit slow in the decision making. His touch was off in the early games. It got better as he played more preseason games. But if you somebody that's a teacher and somebody that want to take a project or have a very solid developing backup, well, there's a value and a proven value for failed former first quarterbacks similar to Trey and people that literally was drafted with Trey. So it's not even that hard if we trying to get something. So would you rather have some money or no money? Why are you saying no money? Cooper Rush, he's worth something. No, he's not. He's worth absolutely nothing.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
We've seen this experiment before. So Cowboys QB Cooper Rush enters free agency in a unique situation. We'll see what happens. So this article is by Kelvin Watkins. Shout out to Kelvin Watkins. This was written January 23rd, 2023. This was after the amazing 5-1. He was 5-1. Surely everybody's going to want a quarterback that can lead his team to 5-1. Yeah. And look, ain't this funny? Yeah, it's a of the unrestricted free agents, backup quarterback Cooper Rush is placed in a unique situation. He went 4-1 in place of an injured Dak Prescott, and with several teams seeking quarterbacks, Rush will have suitors. Rush didn't have no suitors, y'all. So going into free agency, it was assumed that this is what's happening. The same reason why too many people are praising Cooper Rush is the same reason why too many people are hating Dak Prescott. Because to be honest, the same thing is applying to both. What's happening is Cooper Rush is getting way too much credit for the 5-1. And Dak is getting way too much blame for the playoff lack of success when he was the quarterback. That's why I never judge quarterbacks on do they win. I don't look at a quarterback on his winning record. I don't. To determine his worth. No. I look at how that quarterback played in those games. Did you do your job in those games? That's the question. So a lot of people, when they trying to hate on Dak, they say Dak, he nuts up in the playoffs. He's just not that guy. That is one of the most goofiest, dumb, stupidest statements.
You can't handle the truth.
Because if you look at how he played individually in most of the playoff games, it was actually good. So if you look at the Green Bay game in 2016, you can't tell me that was a bad game. Now, if you want to blame Dak because we lost, then yeah, okay, go ahead and stay goofy. But if you want to say, how did he play? He had a higher passing rate than Aaron Rodgers. Now, everybody remember the throw by Aaron Rodgers. But the fact is, and this is the fact, I'm not lying when I say this, Dak played good. Real good. Matter of fact, he led them down there to win. It was just that Aaron converted a 3rd and 20 on the defense. Yeah, is that Dak fault? Oh yeah, Dak fault. Dak should have done more. Dak should have went out there and played some safety. He should have went out there and played some corner. He should have put his hand in the dirt and sacked Aaron Rodgers. But the same thing is in reverse happening with Cooper Rush. It's the exact reverse. Because if you go look at Cooper Rush and you really break this down and don't look at it just how many games he so happened to win, go look at how he performed. And if you go look at how he performed, it was womp womp. It was not special. It was nothing special about what he did in terms of his individual performance. So if you look at when he was 5-1, right? The first thing I want you to notice is that when he was the quarterback, his offense never, ever, they only needed just 20 points because during that run, except for Philly, the defense never gave up over 20 points. Never during that entire run, he only, as the quarterback, needed to put up 20 points to win the games. And then when you go look at it, his attempts was down mostly because they was running the ball. He had some very anemic attempts. Even in the Dallas win over the LA Rams, he only threw the ball 16 times. God. But it's Cowboy fans that's lined up just like a mob to co-sign and super vet and say, hands down, Trey Lance is not even close to Cooper Rush. That is some wee-woo. That is
everybody around me shooters, ain't no.
Man, that is just some BS. I'm just being honest with you. You want me to lie? I'll tell you the truth. Yeah. So, like, looking at it in context, he was not even asked to throw the ball a lot at all. Look, he only had 235 yards versus Cincinnati, 215 yards versus the Giants. Like, what did he do? 223 yards versus Washington. Like, 102 yards in the win versus the Rams. The only time they asked him to really throw the ball, when they asked him to throw the ball, he was fart. So when they asked him to throw the ball 38 times, he went to pure wet fart trash. So the recipe to hurt any quarterback, that's Dak, that's Tom Brady, that's if you overthrow it with any quarterback, you likely go have mistakes. Let me say that again, and let me also clap it up for myself for my wisdom. Let me just clap it up for me. So the game where he threw the ball 38 times, his passing rating was 37.3. And he threw 3 interceptions. So then if you go look at Trey and you look at what the Dallas Cowboys did basically in preseason, he had close to 113 attempts in 3 games. So basically he threw it about 38 times per game. So a lot of people, what they focusing on is the interceptions. So when you hear people say he not ready, he threw 5 interceptions. He threw 5 interceptions. He is just not ready. Trey, he's not ready to be Cooper Rush. I'm going to go with Cooper Rush. I have to go with that. And some of these are just great plays. Like that was just a great play by the safety, man. He ain't no way he's supposed to get down in the flats like that. But he did. Made a good play. Trey, I would say, was a little bit late on that. But this is what everybody is hanging their hat on to say Trey should not be QB2, right? You know. So it's these interceptions that happened the very last game. That's what did it in for Trey. And everybody's ignoring because they looking at the interceptions. They not looking at how many times they asked Trey to throw the ball. They not looking at that. They not looking at that at all. No. See, they not looking at the fact that if you go look at that game, they asked Trey to throw the ball 49 times. It was literally no balance at all. So yeah, you know, he threw 5 interceptions. I would say 3 of the interceptions was on him. But he also had 323 yards. It was also a touchdown that was dropped that would have added another 50 yards to his passing yards. So he should have 370. That offensive line was protecting like trash as well. But it's not even about how do they compare talent wise. It comes down to truly one thing. Do you want your money back? That's what it comes down to. So for everybody that's out there like, no, we got to go with Cooper Rush. We have to. He should be QB2. Well, so you telling me if the Dallas Cowboys are blowing out a team, y'all are telling me to close out the game, Cooper Rush should go out there and close out the game? Or should the Cowboys play Trey Lance in a blowout where you're trying to bait teams into a trade? Because let me say this one more time. The quarterbacks that was traded for 6 rounders were failures. They're no different than Trey. But with this current plan, you get nothing. Because we already saw. People gonna want, this is gonna be an interesting free agency. See, we saw the article. This is gonna be an interesting free agency. And we saw what happened when Cooper Rush was a free agent. It was womp womp. He ended up coming back to Dallas for pennies. So you know you're going to get nothing. It comes down, do you want something or nothing? So let me say this. All right, we got the final word today, so y'all make sure y'all come back to that. That's going to be fire. I can't wait to talk ball with the boys. I also did a video earlier where I talked about the length of the deal holding up Dak Prescott. I think it's a major wee-woo that's going on. I also going to be doing a show with Henny tomorrow where we're going to be talking about the coaches. And then we're going to talk about the matchups versus the Browns with Star on Thursday. So remember, support yourself by supporting BetUS. You can get paid on your knowledge. You can receive 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. I have the link in the description. Until then, it's your boy Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters.
This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.